like fencing along a pasture. General store. Since the German communities set up in mid-Pennsylvania away from the other population centers and nationalities, much of their native culture remained with them. The German language remained in use. Marriage within the community was very much encouraged. The Piedmont area where the Germans settled has a very fertile soil, although it is rocky. Before about 1720, most grew crops just to sustain themselves. As transportation routes expanded to include better roads, canals, and even railroads, farmers could get their crops to market and producers quicker. After 1720, wheat was grown for a cash crop and sold to millers to make wheat flour. Flax plants were grown for sale to linen cloth makers, and corn was grown for sale to the West Indies.
Well, there you go. 50 cents a day was the average labor.
This is a flax plant. Textile garden. Gardens that are used to dye fiber and repel insects.
This is the line part of the flax plant. So I'll make the linen thread here. But you don't get a smooth thread. You get a hairy thread. Because the ends stick up. And you can see it's getting plenty of twist in there. Has to have enough twist to hold the fibers together. Great. Scotch, whatever. Breaking off this more of that rough outside part that didn't come off in the break.
Yeah, and this is the print shop, and the sign says, this print shop is a representation of a one-press shop from about 1800 to about 1850. This press was last used commercially to print a newspaper in Warren County, Pennsylvania. As the German community became more and more prosperous, they would start to import things like fine silver, shown here. As a town grew through the 17th and 18th century, guns would have been important. A gunsmith would have been there to help keep the weapons for hunting and protection. If you were a child born into a Pennsylvania Dutch household, you probably have 5 or 6 brothers and sisters. The older siblings were responsible for taking care of the younger ones. As soon as you were old enough, you were expected to help around the house and the farm. Boys learned to care for livestock and how to plow, plant, and harvest crops. Some boys, although, were apprenticed to learn a trade such as carpentry, shoemaker, or masonry when they turned about 12. Girls helped around the house. They assisted mother in spinning thread and yarn from flax and wool, knitting, making candles, soap, butter, and cheese. dozens of chores. There was always something to do around the house. School, when available, was really a welcome break from the work on the farm. It was very limited, simply teaching you enough to learn to read and write and do math so that you could manage on a farm. There were also lessons in moral principles of right and wrong. Now, girls may have attended school, but again, it was limited to very basic knowledge. Of course, children did play games. Brought over from the old country were games like chess and checkers, dominoes and dice. Card games of cribbage and whist, better known today as bridge, put, which is also called poker, and piquet or rummy. Marbles was a popular game too. And girls, just like today, played house. When the weather was good, outdoor games were played. Swimming was ever popular in the summer, with sports like lacrosse and soccer also being lots of fun. Outdoor bowling and shuffleboard were good games to play too. And boys loved to practice their hunting and fishing skills and bring home some nice dinner for the family. When boys and girls turned adolescent, which is about 12 to 14 years old, school and games stopped. It was time for full-time work. Life in the 18th and 19th century was not easy for children.